Hi there and welcome to hobby vlog number 220, and thank you very much for watching. So we'll jump straight into the Reaper miniatures thing. Last week I painted up the Moor troll, that's it, the Moor troll. I'll stick a picture on the screen now. Had a lot of fun with that, and the painting video will go onto An Average Painter tomorrow, so look forward to that. Thank you to everyone that voted there. And this week there was again a tie. 2 miniatures had 3 votes each. I randomised, and the one that won is the Succubus Queen, so we painted that up this week. If you want to get involved, there is a list on screen now of miniatures that are available to be voted for this week, and it is also in the description below, and in the description there are links to the Reaper website to show you what each miniature looks like. Now all you need to do is leave a comment with the name of the miniature you'd like me to paint. You will then get entered into a draw, a prize draw, which I'm doing at the end of every month, and then there'll be a big one at the end of the year. The monthly draw will give you the opportunity to win, brand new from Reaper, one of the miniatures that I've painted in the month I'm doing the draw for. So that's how it works, and I'll send it to you anywhere in the world. The first one was won by Lekdog. He won January, and he's in Australia and he got his miniature. So it doesn't matter where you are, I will get it to you if Reaper ships to your location, of course. But just put a comment below with what miniature you want me to paint this next week, and yeah, that's how you get your entry. Anyway, enough of that nattering. I've had a pretty good week, but as you've seen from the title and the thumbnail, I have thrown away, this is spoilers, I have given up on, for now, the Castillo de San Marcos. But you'll have to watch to find out what happens and why. But yeah, actually a really positive decision that I made. So I'm not sad or unhappy about it. It was a positive. So other than that, lots of other stuff going on. Fair bit of painting, fair bit of hobbying. Yeah, I really hope you enjoy the video. Let me know what you think in the comments below with your vote for the Reaper miniature, and I'll see you again at the end. Alright, so the Moor troll. Let's get this out of its box and have a look at it. Did that right. So there's a couple of pieces to go. You've got the body, you've got one of the arms, the other arm is attached, and you've got the big ugly head. So really looking forward to painting this one. This is one that I wanted to paint. I wanted this to win. It's been in the vote twice, and so far this year, and I wanted to paint it the first time. I was hoping it would win, and it almost did, and this time it did with 4 votes. So yeah, pretty excited. I'm going to get this washed up now, hot soapy water, give it a good scrub with a toothbrush, and then let it to dry, just to get any mould release or whatever off it, so that then all my paint will stick. I will then attach it to a base and get it all stuck together. I might do some milliput around the sides. I forgot to do that on the last one on the Pirate King and Queen. Ended up alright, but it would have been better if I'd have had the milliput down first. And then when I've got this all primed and ready for painting, I'll come back and show you what it looks like, and then we'll get it painted. Thank you ever so much to everyone that votes. If you haven't yet voted this week, go and get it done in the comments below, and get involved for what I'm going to paint next week. But yeah, other than that, let's get on with this. Right, here is me learning my lesson. So as I say, the bottom corner of these ends is where it got weakest, and I'm probably going to have to do both ends, but I'm going to do the same at the far end as well. So what I've done is I've cut these at a kind of an angle, so they're going to be near enough, and they'll support the corner. And I'm going to glue it in so it will support both that corner and this one here, as you can see. So just a little bit of grabby glue, and put a bit of grabby glue on that side as well, and then just come in here and situate that like so. And now when I come to, actually I might need a little bit more of different grabby glue there, a little bit more towards the corner like so. Then when I come to actually glue the end on, I will have a bit of support there, and that will then help when I put the air dry clay on. It won't be quite so flimsy. So I'm going to get that done for all of them. I've got 4 cut out here. As I say, I think I'm going to need to do it here as well. That's going to be a problem down there also. So I will put one in here and one in there, and that will then support what I'm trying to do. So yeah, I will get that done, glue the ends on, and then we will get to air dry claying, which I'm quite excited for, not because it takes ages and it's boring. Alright, so I've mixed up a load more of my grout mix, and what I'm going to do now is paint this all over everything that you can see, just to kind of give it that texture before I come along with the static grass. That's what I was looking for. And I will need to come along again later and paint some more black onto the rim, because I've impacted it a little bit in places with a little bit of the modelling compound. Lots of ums and ers. Alright, I'm just going to carry on with this now, and when it's done and I'm about to do the static grass, then you'll get to see what it looks like. I'll move that out of the way so I don't accidentally paint things. But yeah, it's a quick old process. This doesn't take long, and yeah, literally it's just painting on the texture. So I'll be back in a bit when I've got more to show you, something more interesting to show you. Well, here we are, glued and primed. As you can see, I have not added anything to the base. The reason for that is I've decided to do a slightly different basing technique, so I'm going to paint everything including the pudding base, and then going to do texture around the outside just with some fast basing stuff. So yeah, I just didn't bother doing any green stuff or whatever on that. So that's now ready to go down and start to get painted. I'm still umming and ahhing about paint schemes for this as well, but I'm going to make a start on it today. I've got another busy week in the evenings, so I need to crack on with this painting if I'm going to get it finished before the end of the week. But it was pretty easy to put together. I did have to trim down a couple of the tabs. The tab to fit this arm was a little over long, so I had to trim a couple of millimetres off it to get it to fit flat. But that was okay, I got it done. Now I'm going to go down a bit later on and start the painting session. I actually painted this in one sitting last night, which is pretty cool. So what I'm going to do now is work on the base, and then I need to paint the rims, and then it'll be done. So that's really good. I get the rims painted tonight after this is all dried. So what I'm going to do is make use of Luke's basing materials, and I'm actually going to go with one that I don't use very often, which is the Pine Forest cover. So I want it to be just a little bit darker. Don't want it to be quite as yellow or browny as some of the other ones are. Just to set off the green and the interesting greeny blue that I've gone for the stone that he stood on. So a little bit of that glue. Then what we'll do is just scatter this all over, like so. Tap it off, and there we are, we have a bit of basing done. So I'll let that dry, seal it with some PVA, watered down PVA, and then paint the rims, and then this is completed. Well, hey. Well, this project has turned into something that's really taking time. But we're slowly getting there. I've nearly finished all of the air dry clay for the walls. But what I'm going to do now is going to start working on the finishing touches, in a sense, I suppose. There's still a fair way to go. But I'm going to just basically undercoat the whole of everything with black. So I've just got black house paint. I've had a look at the pictures, and the top of the floor is just, looks like almost like concrete, like poured concrete, but obviously old poured concrete. So I'm not going to bother doing air dry clay on that or getting it to have blocks. Just don't think it's necessary. Still need to do the capstone to that. Need to not forget that, or that'd be a bit annoying. But yeah, I'm basically just going to paint over the whole of this, every single bit of it with black, and then paint over the whole of everything with black. The thing that's left to do on the walls, all of the outside walls have been done with the air dry clay. But there's actually doors and windows on the inside of the keep. So I'm currently debating in my head how I'm going to go about making those, which is why I thought I'd skip over onto this step. So here we go. Just going to do this. It's just a huge project that just takes a long time because it's so big. It's like all my projects just seem to end up getting oversized. I need to make some small things really. But yeah, we're getting there, and hopefully it's going to look okay. I decided to go for the texture on the top of the walls because it actually, the texture that's on top of the walls looks a little bit like the texture from the prototype. So yeah, I will stop rambling. I will just keep here, paint. Got lots of this to do, and bring it back when I get to the next step, whether that is doing the inside walls of the keep that kind of extend away here. I think it's probably going to have to be, because I'm going to have to get everything up to the same stage before I do the texture over the whole of it. So anyway, enough rambling, enough chattering. Let's get this done and I'll bring you back on this project when I get to the next stage, whenever that is, when I've worked out how I'm going to do those windows probably. Well, I've just put this together and I've realised that I've made multiple mistakes and I'm so close to just giving up on this. So the slope on the walls is perfect, but I forgot that this here should have been sloped as well. So you can see, if we have a look, you can see that the width here is not the same as the width here. That is where it should have ended. So that wall there should have been sloping up like this, and in the same way. So if we make this so everything is right apart from this corner, that should have been sloping up there, that should have been sloping up there, and these should have met. Basically, this should have been sat back there. So this should have come across more. I don't know, my geometries have just gotten all out. I can get away with it probably. I mean, the fact that that's gaping as well is annoying me. I can solve that. I can get away with it, I think. But yeah, that's massively deflating, particularly considering the amount of effort I've put into it so far. The reason I've found this out is I've worked out that the inside, well, I knew this always, but I've proven that the inside is definitely higher than the outside. So the inner courtyard is probably a quarter of the way up these walls. So I'm probably going to need to do something, and we're going to carry on with this. I'm probably going to need to do something in the middle. I'm going to need to model the courtyard in the middle. Otherwise, the basically the doors and the stairs up are going to be floating in midair, which is just going to look very odd. But yeah, I'm pretty deflated right now, having seen just how completely out my plans were for this. I'm happy with the bastions, they're working out nicely, but the inner walls are just totally off. I don't have the time before the contest to completely redo it. Hello, Zena. I don't have the time before the contest to completely redo those walls. I don't have the energy or the motivation to either. So yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. So anyway, there we are. And Zena just wants to play. Out the way, Z. So yeah, bit frustrating, bit annoying, but I'm going to reflect and see what I'm going to decide to do, or how I'm going to try and save this. Right, so the next step is to apply the static grass. So I've got my fast tack glue and my static grass applicator from Warworld Scenics, and I'm going to start doing this just in stages. So we apply some glue like this, spread it out over the top of it, and then once it's spread, shake that area with the static grass, rinse and repeat. So I won't film all this again because it's something that I'm sure you've seen lots of, and it's something that there's lots and lots of examples of on the internet or even on my channel. So yeah, I won't go into too much detail, but once I've done this, then I'm going to have a look at doing some shrubs and fences and all sorts of things just to finish this area off, all those little details that you need to do.
So yeah, and it's a week today that Rosie comes back. So yeah, I'm well on track to have at least this part of this remodel completed. It's taken long enough. Anyway, there we are. So we've got some, got the glue on, and you know, I'm actually going to change the camera slightly because I was going to do this end, and now I'm doing that end. There we are. So what we're now going to do is stick our static grass in. Hopefully I've got enough. So we stick our static grass inside our applicator, like that. Don't forget to put your lid on and get everything tangled up. Turn it on and start shaking. Like this. One of the challenges of doing this is it's quite hard to recover the waste. So picking that up and putting it back in the hopper is quite difficult, so it's quite wasteful. Unless you have a hoover with a sock over it, which I do not have. I've never managed to get that to work. So I will physically gather this up. And unfortunately we'll just have to lose quite a lot of stuff, which I'll hoover off later. So I'm going to get this finished up, get the rest of this area done, let it dry, and I'll bring you back for the next step, which is, I say, oh, I only tacked it down, didn't I? Forgot about that. Careful. Gonna have to squish that back into place. Never let it be said that if there's a mistake to be made, I will avoid making it. Oops. Yeah, so I'll bring you back to the next stage, which will be doing the fence and the path and the little bits of shrubs and what have you that I want to do. Right, onwards. Well, against all the odds and massive struggle, I've managed to paint all of these camels and their dismounts. Now, I think I mentioned that I've got 10 camels and 12 dismounts. So I have actually underbought, so I am actually going to have to buy some more at some point. But what I've got to do now is I'm going to take these, these, what are they, cacti, that's it, going to take the cacti, and similar to this base, though they're a different green, that doesn't bother me, I'm going to stick a cactus on each base, so there'll be lots of cacti. There we are. So I've got whole stacks of them. I've painted these with spray paints because, yeah, I wasn't about to spend lots of time and waste my life hand painting them. They're a real pain in the backside, these to paint. I think I mentioned that on another video. But yeah, some of these stick together in twos, so you can see that that's got a little tab and that's got a hole. So you're supposed to put that one will go one on one side, one on the other. So there's a little bit of work to be done. This is a very itty bitty frustrating task. I absolutely love the models, I love the profiles, I love playing with them, but they're just so frustrating to paint them and to put together. So that's why it's taken literally months for me to get these models done, but I'm really close. So I'm going to spend a bit of time today, going to get all of the cactuses on the bases, then attach some sand to the bases, and then paint the rims, and then we'll be done. And if I can try and get that done today, that would be epic, because as I stand, I'm on 45 models completed for the year, and this is obviously going to jump me above one a day, which is epic, and then I'll really be able to push on and hopefully keep going with more than one a day. But we shall see. We shall see. Let's get on with this. So the first thing to do is to work out which cactus is going to go on which base. Any which are small can just be stuck straight on, I'll do. And there are some, like I've said, that will be stuck together and be multi-part. I'll do a couple of those on some of the camel riders, but yeah, shouldn't take too long. I'll show what it looks like when it's finished. I've got all of the cacti attached to the bases, as you can see. What I'm going to do now is make use of my sifted sand that you can see here, and fast drying basing glue from Luke, and I'm going to put sand all over the bases, and then it'll be painting the rims. So I'm not going to film it because it's going to be a bit fiddly and a bit annoying to film, but yeah, I'm so pleased. Can't tell you how pleased I am to be getting these nearly done. They've been hanging over me for so long. Right then, so I've done the basing. It's set really nicely, and I haven't actually had to do any extra sealing of it with PVA, which normally I do, which is interesting. And that's what this little clip is about. So the basing glue with just sand managed to permeate all the way through happily, and that's cool. So what I'm going to do now is go and paint the rims, and then they're done, which is just epic. I mean, the effort that this has been, mainly because I haven't wanted to do it, they're really fiddly basically. They're really fiddly to paint. What I might be able to do, I've got a whole batch more, as you know, so I might look at doing them in a slightly different way and bring you along a little bit more on that to see if it's easier to paint them in sections. So basically leave the arms and the I mean, these are easy, but it's the Camel riders that are hard. So maybe leave the arms and the shields and the side spikes off and paint them all separate and see how that goes. I might do that for one or two, see if it's easier, and if it is, then I'll bring you along. But yeah, I'm just happy to have got them out the door, frankly. They've been sat on my bench for a very long time. The Castillo de San Marcos. There are the bastions, and there are the walls. And here is me looking down on you because my camera's on a bit short, sorry about that. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about this. I'm pretty deflated by how it's happened and what's happened. Obviously I really wanted to build this thing, and I still really want to build this thing. What's happened is I thought I had until the end of June for the blood and pigment the little challenge that I was going to enter it in. Plenty of time, loads of time, and I could take my time and do it just gently, which is what I was looking forward to. And when I found out that the end of the deadline was not the end of June, it was the end of February, I made the decision that I now believe is a mistake to rush to try and get it done. And because of that, what I've shown just now, which is the walls are not the correct geometry and things are not straight, and I've just been rushing to try and get it done. I've ended up with an outcome that I'm not happy with. It's not a complete loss. I've learned a lot. I think I know how to do it now, or at least how to do it slightly better. But I do think I'm just going to bin these. I think I'm going to get rid of them. But I was briefly wondering whether I could continue with at least the bastions, but I think even those are going to go away. Now I've still got the templates and I've still got all of the maths I've done and everything. I might keep one bastion or one wall, and then I think probably I'm just going to let it settle for a bit, and I'm going to come back and start again with new materials and a slightly better technique, taking some advice that I've been given in the comments regarding not using air dry clay, which I think would be a good idea, but we shall see. The other thing is it was just starting to take over. I mean, it was such a big project that 6 months to do it in is pretty cool. 3 weeks, I was not going outside, I was working until late, it was impacting my life, and this is a hobby, it's not a job, and that was another reason why I'm almost kind of relieved that that mistake occurred and I can stop, because I was losing the love for it. It was starting to become an albatross around my neck, and that isn't what this hobby is about. So yeah, so I might keep one of them. I might keep one of the bastions and one of the walls, like I say, just to remind myself of the mistake I've made, so that when I come to it next I can do it right. And this is not the end of my attempts to do the San Marcos. It really isn't. I'm very keen to get it built in 28mm. So it's just a pause, it's a learning process, it's a waste of some money. Fortunately not a huge amount, maybe £35 or something, £40, maybe 40, 50 bucks. It's not a huge amount of money, it's more than you want to just throw away, but at least it's not hundreds. But yeah, I'm gonna come back bigger and stronger and better with another attempt at some point in the future. So yeah, that's the end of this project for now, but it will come back at some point. Well, here we are. The proof, they're in the bin, don't quite fit, they're too big, but I'll return to this project at some point, I'm sure. Right, so I'm going to make use of my little vac to vacuum up all the waste, and I've just cleaned this as best as I can, so hopefully I can recycle the stuff that I vacuum out. So let's just see how well that works. Well, there we are. I need to stick that bit of the platform down again, huh? But I'll get that done in a bit. It fits in now, I just need to glue it again, so that won't take a second. But that is pretty much that. I need to work on the path a bit. I don't want it to just be looking like that. I'm going to put a little bit of gravel down. I want to put some bushes and stuff and trees here, and I think that'll be it. I'm not sure whether I'm going to put a fence. I might put a fence along here and a fence here. That's what I think I might do. So a fence along here and a fence here. But other than that, really happy, and hopefully Rosie will like it. She comes back in a few days. So yeah, going to get this done in time, which is what I wanted. So yay. I finished assembling the second one. That went together nicely as well. So what I'm going to do now, like I say, is I'm going to apply the undercoat all the way over all of it. And also I'll touch up and do the bits that I missed on the first one. Now it might take 2 coats, but yeah, just going to get this all into that brown, and then I can start to work on on the colour that I want to do. Now, the one thing to point out here is on this one I'm doing it with the 2 masts. On the other one I'm going to look at basically making use of the advice I was given by one of the awesome people on the Blood and Plunder Discord as to a slightly different rigging. So that will involve drilling a hole and changing up the deck a little bit just to get that to work. So that's probably, actually, after I've done this painting, probably actually the thing that I'm going to do next. So I'm going to do a little bit more research on that, try to understand a little bit more about how it's going to change, and then I'll get that painted up, get that drilled out and what have you, and then I can do my second coat. But I want to get one coat on just because, well, I finished this today and I'm pretty happy with it. So yeah, I just want to keep pushing on with this project. It's sat in my I'm too terrified to do it pile for so many years that now I'm doing it. I'm feeling quite motivated and energized. Anyway, there we are. I'll keep applying this paint, and I'll bring you back for the next step. Like I say, probably the different mast arrangement when I get to it. Right, I'm finally going to get around to starting to paint this. So yeah, I'm going to do this as a painting video on an average painter, so you'll be able to check that out once I've finished it. But I'm going to reward myself. I've been putting it off, and I just managed to finish my Camel riders and the dismounts, which was a huge project and took ages and ages and ages. And so now I'm going to reward myself with this, which is going to be a little bit more fun, and yeah, quite excited. So hopefully it won't take very long. But yeah, let's get started. I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Well, I've been looking forward to doing this for quite a while, and I'm going to make a start. This is the Linguine Western faction from Gunfighters board, as you can see, and it is basically the good, the bad and the ugly. So you've got Blondie and Angel Eyes and Anglo Eyes. Yeah, so yeah, going to try and get those painted up. Going to do as good a job as I possibly can on these. First thing, as always, take them out of this pack and get them washed in hot soapy water, dried, then put them onto the base and prime them. So I will get that done and show you what they look like when they're all ready for painting. Then I'll paint them and put that video onto an average painter, and then once it's finished I'll bring them back and show you what they look like, and you can jump over onto an average painter to see what they've turned out. So yeah, pretty excited. Like I say, I've been looking forward to doing this quite a long time, and now is the moment, now is the time to do it. So yeah, let's get these washed. I'll bring them back very shortly to show you what they look like. Well, there we are. I managed to get the Buccaneer storming party finished this week as well. So that means I've completed the English nationality starter set, which is very, very awesome and very exciting. So I've got one more starter set, nationality starter set. I can't remember which one it is, so you'll have to wait to see that. And then I'm going to be on to the plastics, which is pretty cool as I paint my way through all my Blood and Plunder. These ones are fun to paint, and I've really enjoyed this, getting back into painting Blood and Plunder. I'd forgotten just how much fun these models are. I really recommend them, and particularly now that they're replacing all the metals with plastic. I've not personally painted them, but everyone who I've seen who has painted them says they're just amazing. They're really, really cool, really fun to paint, and highly recommended. So and just a lot better than the metals. So I'm looking forward to getting onto those, but that will be a little while yet. Anyway, there we are, finished up, painted. I'm going to get them into the display box, and who knows, at some point maybe I'll even get a game with them. Well, here we are, all based, rims painted and completed. And I think it's been 3 months, maybe, that it's taken me to paint these up. They're just fiddly, that's the word I'd use for them. And I did record this. There will be a video going live tomorrow as you're watching this on my vlog on the An Average Painter, and that tells me that to paint 2 of the camels took an hour and 20 minutes of elapsed time to paint 2 of the camels. And that actually, I do sometimes do a little bit that doesn't get captured. So if I see, oh my goodness, I missed a little bit of skin under the arm, I won't turn the camera back on and just do those touch-ups. So it could be up to an hour and a half for 2 camels only, and there are 10 camels here, so you do the math. It's taken a lot of elapsed time in terms of actual real painting time, and then because they're so fiddly and so painful to paint, it's taken a lot of elapsed time of them just sitting there staring at me, making me feel guilty. And the worst part is if we look over here, I have the same amount to paint again, stacked up in boxes, unopened, and I also have the king, which I was going to be converting up. So I need to get my motivation up, and I need to give it another go and get stuck in and continue this project and finish off the rest of the batch. And then to make matters even worse, I don't actually have enough camel riders for all my dismounts. I didn't realise that I ordered too many dismounts for 12 dismounts and 10 camels. So I need to order in total 4 more camels. So yeah, this is probably going to take me a very long time to complete as an overall project. But once I have completed it as an overall project, I will be sharing that with you, and maybe even sharing some progress as I crack through the rest of them. But yeah, just a tough old project, and they're just fiddly, but now I've got them done, I'm really happy. I love how they look, and they're some of my favourite profiles in the game, and I am taking them to Ardicon this year. So yeah, it is worth getting stuck into them. It's just difficult while you do it, and there's a lesson there. Anyway, enough rambling. I'm just pleased that this part of this project is completed. So there you are, quite a big week. Threw away one project, the Castillo, finished my camels. Double thumbs up for me for that, for getting those done. And yeah, just a good fun week. I did quite a lot on my model railway, which I am filming, but those videos are not yet out on the Area Railway channel because I want to finish each project before I publish. I'm not doing a vlog style one there. And I've actually got 3 or 4, maybe even 5 videos that could be landing there at some point. So go over there and subscribe if you want to see those videos. It's a very, very exciting day for me yesterday in particular. In progress on the model railway. No game last week or this week, unfortunately, coming up. So next vlog there'll be no Rosie and me and Angela playing the One Ring. They're away having a great time, but they do come back during this week. So next Sunday after I publish the vlog, I'll be very excited to get back to the One Ring and play a game with them again. So yeah, that's why there was nothing on this vlog. And yeah, just a fun week. Thank you ever so much for watching. Don't forget to vote for the Reaper miniature. The options are in the description below, so you just need to leave a comment and include the name of one of the miniatures that you want me to paint, and I will enter you into the prize draw. That's all said. Let's wrap up as we always do at the moment on all of my vlogs. I can't believe it's still going on. I believe that we're now, is it 2 years or 3 years Ukraine? Just in madness how long it's gone on for. If any of you are impacted directly or indirectly by the horrific wars that are going on in Ukraine and in Israel, my thoughts do go out to you and anyone you know who may be in that horrific situation. And I personally am in the situation where I know people directly impacted in both, which is why I do say this. It's a personal thing. And to everyone, please do stay healthy, stay safe, and stay well.